Hi, YouTube.
Hey YouTube friends and family, it's your boy GB Reviews, and today I am doing one of the meal preps for the Home Chef meals that I received. This one was a steak strip provolone pretzel roll sandwich, and they sent me a whole bunch of organic fresh ingredients. I'm going to show you how to prepare them. I'm going to show you how long it takes. I'm hoping it's not going to take too long. And then we're going to go through a few of the steps just so you can see all the things that are required to do one of the more intense preparation meals. Some of the ones that, like I showed you before, like 9 to 12 minutes. This one may take a little bit longer, but I think that you will appreciate not only the effort that it's going to take, but how cool and easy this is given our unusual circumstances. So with that, let's get at it. So as you can see, I've laid out all of the different items that are required. Here you see the recipe card. Here are the ingredients that we are going to be using for this meal prep. I'm actually not going to use the mayonnaise. I'm going to use horseradish sauce instead. But they give, this is all the stuff that they include in here. So you see they give you 2 Kaiser rolls, 2 potatoes, sliced beef, wine vinegar, a shallot, which is basically a weird looking onion, sliced banana peppers, 2 mayonnaise packets, some Chimichurri Seasoning, and then I don't know what this is. This is like some kind of beef Demi-Glace or something like that. And then I need a sharp knife that I'm using to cut up all this stuff, but I'm going to show you how to prepare it. I'm going to show you how easy it is. And then the sliced beef. The beef is already sliced. They want you to pat it, the blood off of it, and then you're going to cook it down. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do that last because I need to make sure my chopping block is kind of clean. But we're going to prepare everything and get it done. So when I'm looking at the different items here, I was really impressed with the way they came. Like I told you, it came in a box, and I dropped a picture in the box, but it came in the box, and then it came in this plastic bag, which is kind of cool. It's just like the Home Chef bag. And on the back of the bag, it'll tell you exactly what the meal you're preparing is, right? So this one is the steak strip provolone pretzel sandwich. And then the meals from Home Chef come in these bags, whereas the meals from one of the other services I used came from plastic bags. So we're gonna prepare this out. I think it'll be easy, I hope. We're gonna follow these instructions, and then we'll see how this turns out. So let's get at it. So the first part of preparing this meal is reading the instructions. Anyway, like this says, the Home Chef comes in a bag. But it says, before you cook, take a minute to read through the recipe card, which is here. And this is how it should look when I'm done, hopefully. Let you guys see. It says, take a minute to read through the card. So it says, if using fresh produce, thoroughly rinsed and pat dry, I'm gonna preheat my oven to 425. I'm gonna prepare a baking sheet with foil and cooking spray. And then I guess that's how I'm gonna make the potatoes. You can customize, it says customize it instructions. If you're using 20-ounce steak strips, follow the same. If you're using flank steak, and then they have diced chicken. So they have different preparation meats that you can use. You can also use pork, salmon, chicken, shrimp. So you can do a whole bunch of different things. So first thing they said to start with is they said to cut the potatoes. So we're gonna do that first. We're gonna cut the potatoes. I'm gonna move this so you can see. But I'm gonna move some of this stuff out of the way, and then we're gonna come back and we're just gonna have potatoes. So the first part is it says to cut the potatoes in 1/2-inch strips. I sharpened these knives the other day, so you know I had problems with the knives before. But we're gonna cut the knives. We're gonna cut it into Wow, that's super sharp. What I'm noticing is it's sticking to the side. I'm doing funky shapes only because I just like different types of shapes of potatoes. So don't think anything of it. I like funky shapes. I am cutting them down a little bit only because potatoes are just kind of strange. They just take longer to cook if you make them too big. So I'm cutting them down. And then these are kind of like potato chips. But when I cook them, based on the instructions, it should be fine. And we're cooking wedges. So I like different types of potatoes, and I'm going to, as such, cut them differently. And says, cut the potatoes into 1/2-inch fries, place them on a nonstick pan over high heat, and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Add the potatoes to the hot pan and stir occasionally for 4 minutes. So we're gonna do that next, all right? So let's get at it. One of the keys to making sure that everything goes well is just proper preparation. I have my baking pan here, and I have my pan spray, and I'm gonna spray this because you wanna make sure that everything's prepared. So I'm gonna cook, you're gonna see me cook the potatoes, and I'll show you just kind of the cooking process. 4 minutes to 5 minutes in grease or in olive oil, and then I'm gonna bake it in the oven for 25 minutes. So, all right, we're making this happen. So one of the things you wanna make sure you have is hot oil. The way I test oil is the way my mom always told me to test oil, and that's just by dropping like 1 drop of water in it, and it should start to like, you're noticing that I'm making the potatoes small. Even though my pan is large, I want all the potatoes to get oil in them. And you're supposed to do it on high heat. The one thing I hate about just frying things in general you're supposed to use a nonstick pan, which this is technically supposed to be a nonstick pan, but as you can see from my generously pushing this through the oil, is that the potatoes are sticking a little bit, which is fine, but not ideal. When you can find a true nonstick pan, which I've had some experience with, but not always success with, because the pans are non-stick for a while, and then they become not so non-stick. So we're gonna switch the lights up. So when you look at that, you can smell the potatoes cooking. I've been doing this now for, I guess, about one minute. And with the magic of modern technology, you're going to be able to see this super fast, but it's going to be done, or at least done to the point where it's going to go in the oven. I'm preheating my oven right now, and the time from when you preheat your oven to when you're cooking all of this stuff, your potatoes, all of this stuff, I guess, should happen in about 30 to 40 minutes. Now remember, what I'm cooking right now is a serving size for 2 people. So just keep that in mind, that I'm cooking for 2 people, not 1 person. And so that's why there's so many potatoes, things like that. They smell good though. When you don't have a non-stick pan, you really have to move this around a lot. Now we're done. Now once they're done, we need to remove them from the frying pan, and then we're going to put them on this heat. And then we're going to transfer them to the oven to finish cooking. Now that my oven has reached 425 degrees, I'm going to put my pan in here for make sure you add the seasoning packet to your potatoes. This is a, trying to get the focus. Chimichurri Seasoning, but instead I'm gonna use, I like Old Bay potatoes, so I'm gonna change to Old Bay. And once you season them up, they're ready to go. 12 to 15 minutes. Actually, note to self, always have proper ventilation when you're burning stuff in your kitchen. So, anyway, you're gonna put the potatoes in there from, I think it's 12 to 15 minutes. Now we're gonna start cutting. All right, so the next step in our preparation process is to coarsely chop the banana peppers. So we're gonna coarsely chop these peppers, and then so coarsely chop. Again, what did I tell you? Coarsely chop. Having a stove, or not a stove, but a knife that's sharpened properly makes all the world of difference. And actually you find that you have less accidents with a sharp knife. Now we're gonna peel the shallot. What I do is I like to just cut the top off. And then we're gonna slice it in half. And then we're gonna slice it into thin strips. There you go, thin strips. Then we're putting that together in here, in this bowl. And next step is we mix this together, and I'm just gonna make sure that I can mix it a little bit better than this. Or mix it better. I'm mixing with my hand. Banana peppers and shallots, and then we're gonna use the white wine vinegar. We're gonna put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and then we'll set that aside. When you're opening the steak packet, just remember there's actually a lot of blood in there. You're gonna just cut that out and put that in there. But the steak already comes in strips, so it's ready to go into the pan. You're gonna heat your pan to on medium heat this time, and then you're gonna add a little bit more olive oil to the pan that you use for your potatoes, and then you're gonna cook that up together for about 4 to 6 minutes. So we're gonna cook this about 4 to 6 minutes, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So now we're gonna take the steak strips, we're gonna stir them in. You're gonna do this step right here for 4 to 6 minutes. And so, if you're adding up the time, as soon as this is done, my potatoes should actually be done. And then I can pull them out of the oven. Now remember, when you're getting to this step, you're gonna need the Demi-Glace. Once you get to the 4-minute mark, you're gonna have to pour 2 tablespoons of water into this pot with the Demi-Glace packet that you have. And again, if you're allergic to milk, you don't want to eat this, or if you're lactose intolerant. And this is on medium-high heat, just so you know. And what I did this time, because my pot is, what I realized in cleaning, it's non-stick, but for cooking, it's not non-stick. So I sprayed it with Pam on the inside before I put my olive oil, my other teaspoon of olive oil in here. Now, we're gonna put this packet in there. And then you're gonna put a tablespoon of water in there. 2 tablespoons of water, sorry. And then you're gonna mix that in. And that's gonna flavor that beef up nicely. That's gonna flavor that beef up nicely. It's already starting to give me a nice brown color for the sandwiches. And then I'm checking on my potatoes, make sure they're not burning. And this part, you're only required to do for 1 to 2 minutes. I'm gonna show you what the beef looks like. So your beef should look like this when it's actually done properly. It's cooked, and it has a nice brown color from the Demi-Glace sauce, or whatever. Excuse my pronunciation. I don't use sauces typically. This is like Worcestershire or something like that. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this off and I'm gonna remove it from the fire. So let's do that. One of the beauties of having granite countertops is you can move your hot pots right to the top. So now everything is done. We are in the final stages of prep. So we have our 2 pretzel rolls. And you can see what size they are. You may need to cut them a little bit if they're not, I mean, they're pre-cut, but you may need to cut them a little bit if they don't come apart easily, taking them out. The one thing I forgot to show you before is I have provolone cheese that they sent me. You can substitute where you see fit. And then we're going to put our meat. And they give you a lot of meat, just so you know. We're gonna put our cheese. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of meat. That's good. And the heat from this will melt your cheese, or provolone melts pretty easily. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw it in the microwave just for a second, just to heat it up a little bit. But as you can see with the provolone, it's starting to melt anyway. We're gonna throw it in the microwave just to melt it a little. So I melted the cheese so you can see, look how it looks. We have our chips or our fries. Perfect. I'm using horseradish sauce instead of mayonnaise. And then you have your shallots and your peppers mix. And then we're gonna see what it tastes like. Ooh. That's hot, but that's delicious. Home Chef, you knocked it out of the park. The combination of taste with this pretzel bun, the saltiness, and you notice when I was doing this meal, I didn't add any salt to anything. It was just amazing. Everything tastes so fresh and nice. The potatoes turned out perfectly. And I don't even need to use ketchup. But that's it for your boy GB Reviews. Please hit the like button for the algorithm. I encourage you to try the Home Chef meals. I especially like this one, but this is my first one, the prep. You saw the prep time. Probably total prep time was about, maybe about 35 minutes with cutting everything and moving around and just preparing things. If I had to prep some stuff beforehand, it probably would have been shorter. But other than that, it's been easy and great, and I am really happy with the process. I would say you definitely should try it. Let me know what your comments are below. If you have experience with Home Chef, if you tried this specific meal, let me know. But anyway, it's your boy GB Reviews. Please subscribe, like below, and I'll catch you next time. Subscribe and like below. Out.
Subscribe right below.
That's the meal. Look at that. Look how nice that looks.